As civilians and people of our great country, we hold ourselves to a higher standard and to support, or worse yet, rejoice in violence. Someone who advocated for an arrested murderer and assassinator of one of the greatest debaters and free speakers of our time should have no place in the classroom, more so around young children.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What y'all doing? With the passing of Charlie Kirk, it has shown that a lot of people are evil in this world. People celebrating his passing and every damn thing. Disgusting. Truly evil. Yeah, they celebrate his passing. But what they didn't consider is, they didn't know that MAGA, we stick together like family, right? We don't do riots. We don't burn down buildings. We don't take to the streets like a couple of hooligans. You know what we do? We'll report you. That's all we got to do from the comforts of our home, okay? None of all that fighting and all that taking to the streets. We don't got to do that. We got to go to work in the morning. We don't got to do that. You wake up and you see a pink slip as soon as you walk into your job and you don't have employment no more. Just understand, we stick together like family, okay? So keep on disrespecting a man passing, which is truly disgusting. And we just gonna have to keep on, letting people know who you are. That's it. That's all. Allegedly. Allegedly over here in this channel. Allegedly.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your brother Wise. I appreciate you guys pulling up today. And, I was kind of debating if I really wanted to do this video or not, because you never want to see people lose their jobs, right? I don't celebrate, the loss of wages and the way that you're going to take care of yourself. But I got to say this, man. The shades of darkness that has shown itself over the week has it's really been disgusting. It's been disturbing as well. And you've had a lot of people who are professionals, who work at restaurants, who work for schools, who works for universities, who work at banks, work all kinds of places. And they felt really comfortable to tell the world that, hey, we're very, very happy that an individual that we disagreed with politically lost their life. And they wanted to tell the world that. And yes, here in America, we do have freedom of speech. We definitely do. But you don't have freedom of consequences from that speech. So an employer can say, hey, your speech online, the way you showcase yourself online, and that's not just this situation. It'd be no different than, the women that have been losing their jobs for posting provocative pictures online, or, maybe they're doing, only scams, that type of work, and they get caught. And then the company says, hey, this doesn't reflect our values. Yeah, you have the ability to do it, but we just don't want that, a part of, we don't want that type of individual to represent our brand, our service, our product. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple clips to share with you guys. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hey, man, it is what it is. Let's keep going.
So I'm starting to see a lot of videos online this morning of people that are losing their jobs because they, quote unquote, expressed their opinion. I just posted a video. Yeah, it's deeper than that. You didn't get fired because you expressed your opinion or posted a video. You didn't get fired for that. No, that's not why you got fired. No, you were fired because you showed that you lack zero compassion, zero empathy, and zero human decency. That's why you were fired. You showed your employer who you really are and who they really hired. See, here's the thing. Your job is more than the skills that you possess. When you have that job, you're expected to do certain things. You're expected to treat your customers well. You're expected to treat your teammates well. You're expected to treat the people that you serve well. So you should really ask yourself this: why would an employer believe that you can actually show compassion and empathy to teammates, the customers, and the people that you serve if you couldn't do it online? Like, you made a video. You bragged about not having compassion. You bragged about not having empathy. You bragged about not having human decency. You got yourself fired because you were pandering to a similar audience of like-minded people. You wanted clicks and likes. You probably wanted to go viral. You wanted to get noticed. And your employer noticed you. Job well done.
Yeah. You wanted to get noticed, and yeah, you were noticed. And you probably did get viral. And maybe you did make a little bit of money. But in the midst of that, you lost that primary income source, man. And I just don't think people think. I just don't think people think about the ramifications of, what they put out there on the internet. I just don't think they do.
I was just fired from my job.
So I've lost my job. I got called into the office yesterday and told me that they could either fire me or I could put a resignation in, but that would look better. But they fired me, or they're getting rid of me because of my TikTok. Somebody screenshot a lot of my TikToks, and
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot.
Have y'all noticed something? Like, these people, they all have a certain look about them, especially in their eyes. You can see it. It's really in the eyes. They say the eyes are the window of the soul, but you can really see there's a certain look that these people tend to have right there in the orbital region.
I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years building the diversity, equity, and inclusion department from scratch, I lose my job because one of you, some random person, reports my posts to my employer, goes out of their way to find out where I work and takes my job.
This is the real face right here. This is the real face of DEI. There's a bunch of black folks out there thinking like, oh, DEI, no, they take it. Nah, this is the real face of DEI. It's white liberals and members of the alphabet community. Let's just keep it a buck. It's crazy.
Takes my security away from me for a thought, for an opinion, and you talk about freedom of speech like you care about it, and you're just going to take my money, my life, my food off my plate because I don't like Charlie Kirk? That's not okay. It is not okay to target me because I felt joy that day. I can't help how I feel. I felt joy. That's me. That's what I believe. That's what I think of him. I can't help that. So I don't deserve a job? You
fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Now I have nothing but this. I have nothing but this website. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. Ah! 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 Ah!
That last scene, a little scary, very demonic. But these people, man, they have that look. They have to look. Now, I'm not saying that these people are demon possessed. I'm not saying that because I don't know any of these people from a can of paint. But the look, see it in their eyes. That last individual banging his head against the wall. There's a look. There's definitely a look.
As we know, people across the country are being doxxed, fired, and suspended for posting anything disagreeing with Charlie Kirk since he's died. But I'm getting comments like this, and I'm not reading this comment, so you're going to have to read it for yourself. But I also want to talk about another comment I got earlier this week, which was, do you see yourself in George Floyd? And like they called him similar adjectives to describe him, and they meant it as a dig. But this is the thing that they don't get. Yes, I do see myself in George Floyd. I saw myself in Tamir Rice. I saw myself in Breonna Taylor. I see myself in all of them. And that's actually the point, and that's what we've been trying to say to you this entire time.
I'm sorry. I don't see myself in George Floyd. Not at all. I don't see myself in Breonna Taylor. You know, God rest her soul. Her situation's, a little different. The Breonna Taylor situation. It's a little different than George Floyd's situation. She's just, unfortunately, was dealing with the wrong dudes. Dealing with the wrong dudes, holding the stash for the wrong dudes, which she should not have been doing. And that was very unfortunate. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the police are paying a price, for that. And I believe they also won the lawsuit. So, hey, bless Breonna Taylor's soul.
This is what we've been trying to say, and this is what I said in my other video, but the reason that this is hitting Republicans so hard is because they're seeing themselves in this man for the first time. For the first time, they're realizing, oh, this isn't just rhetoric, this isn't just words. The snowflake left that, the thing about the right is that they can debate immigration and LGBTQ rights and abortion because it doesn't matter to them, and because as soon as you start to get a little emotional, they use that as proof that you're not intelligent, that you can't have a debate. It's not a debate because it's people's lives. And now that they see that it's...
when people sit down to have debates, from what I've witnessed, anytime a conservative sits down with a liberal to have these debates, they do get emotional. They get extremely emotional. They lash out. They yell. They scream. They start, calling names. We've witnessed it. We've all experienced it. We've gotten a chance to see it firsthand, up close and personal.
It's people's lives. We understand it's not a debate, but instead of letting the left have this free speech they so claim to love, they want the left to lose their jobs while at the same time being attacked. If you do not know, they're creating a searchable database of anyone who has posted online about Charlie Kirk with as much personal information that they can find about these people. They are trying to scare people into silence and threaten us at the same time. The harder it gets to speak up, the more important it is that we do, because there are people who have jobs that truly would fire them, who live in communities where it is not safe, who are immigrants who can't speak up. That really can be retaliated against. And so if you are a person who has the privilege that you can use your voice, I'm not saying you have to make a video, but your voice could be a repost, your voice can be a protest, your voice can be a call to a mayor's office, your voice is however you can use your voice. And I am begging you to please use your voice.
The problem when it comes to dealing with liberals is majority of them, they're not looking at things through a biblical lens. They're not looking at things through a biblical worldview. That's not typically what they're doing. And, for those of us that are followers of Christ and we're looking at the world through the lens of the Bible, it's the truth and the lies. And there's no compromising when it comes to God's word. There's no compromise there. It's either in the book as the truth or it's a lie. And that's what these folks can't comprehend it. They can't comprehend that there are people that believe in the word, and we believe that the word is the living, true word of God. And we're going to try our best to live up to that standard. Now, again, it's impossible for us to live up to the standard because we're all are going to fall short. But we should not on purpose, because of the sacrifice that Jesus made on Calvary. Just because he made that sacrifice for us doesn't give us the ability to just do whatever we want to do and say it's okay because, Jesus died for my sins. No, we should be striving to be as sin-free as Jesus. Even though we know that we're going to fall short, we are flawed individuals. We should still be striving. And that is the problem. And that is the thing that I don't think that they can understand, because in order for you to get on board with the liberal agenda, you would have to make concessions and compromises on what you believe in as a follower of Christ. And there's just entirely too many of us that are not willing to make those compromises. We're just not. So a lot of times when you have these conversations and we say, hey, this is what we believe, and there is no room for debate, there is no room to, compromise on these things, they can't handle it. And they consider it, violence. They consider it being, some form of phobic. But it was okay for them, during the Me Too movement and all these other different movements they had where they could cancel and dox folks. It was okay for them to do that. But now, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you have people letting it be known like, hey, there are some evil people working for your company. Yeah. And the companies want to protect their bottom line. They want to do that.
I just got fired. Kind of happy about it.
You said I have to leave the premises like immediately? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, guess I'll see you guys later. I'm fired. You guys take care. Good luck, okay? Kind of relief. You guys have a good one.
Oh man, I feel good. I just got fired. And honestly, when they told me, I was like a little like, eh. But then after, I was like, fuck this. They're back there having their little chat together. The guy that let me go was trying to block me from saying goodbye to my coworkers right now. Like, he was like guarding them or something. And then that's when I was like, okay, bye. Goodbye, guys. I'll see you later. They let me go. They fired me.
People got to understand that the reason why they say, hey, no, we don't want you going back to your desk. We don't want you going, and saying bye to anyone for a multitude of reasons. One, they don't want you in there cutting a fool. Two, they don't know if you have a weapon or something like that. They don't want you to go in there and potentially pew the place up. And they also don't want you sharing information that they may not want shared as per, HR rules and protocols, right? There's some reasons behind that, which is also a lot of the reason why they let people go, at the end of business on Friday. People are like, man, why didn't you gonna fire me on Friday? Why'd you let me work the whole day? Yeah, they get you at the last, or like the one dude said, they waited till I went home and they called me on Saturday and said, hey man, we don't need you to come back. They do that for safety precautions. These are all just safety measures, HR safety measures to keep people from cutting a fool, because we know that people have been prone to violence, when they've been, let go, laid off, released, fired from positions. That is a thing. That is something that has happened.
To the person that sent that video to corporate and got me fired, thank you. And I know that everybody is going to see this video too, and that's okay. I'm not going to say anything wrong. Did I realize that what I was saying in that video was going to lead to this? No, I would have never fucking done that. But it seems like with my life, no matter how hard I fucking try, I end up fucking shut up. But I know that everything happens for a fucking reason. And I may not know right now what that reason is, but eventually God will reveal that to me. I love helping addicts. I love helping people. This job stressed me the fuck out some days, but I didn't care because it was worth it, because I was helping people. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. My daughter is about to go to college, and I don't know now how I'm going to pay for that, but I know that I'll figure it out. And if you want to send this video to corporate too, that's fine. But to anybody that creates content, if you work at a treatment facility, if you work in healthcare, watch what you say very carefully, because it doesn't matter if you don't speak somebody's name. Just describing a situation is enough to get you fired. I did not know that, but now I sure do now. I don't know.
Hey, liberal woman tears, man. Liberal woman tears. Like I said, I don't celebrate, the firing of these people. But when you work, especially in service positions, you work in hospitals, things of that nature, where your job is to provide the best care that you can possibly provide for an individual, regardless of what you think their political believings are, right, left, whatever their religion is. When you can get online, when you can get on the internet and celebrate the death, but you're supposed to be helping to save lives, yes, that's a conflict of interest. That's a conflict of interest, and I don't understand why these people are acting so surprised. I don't get it. These young people are phenomenal, and I'm really, really, really excited and happy to see young people starting to stand up for what's right.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Brandon. And as the people of the youth, we've decided to come up and give our perspective on the subject, considering it is our teacher and one of the people that will guide our futures. No matter what anyone says to me, I will never stand for violence, especially of a man who was publicly murdered in front of his wife, one of his children, thousands of students, and other bystanders. Charlie was not a racist, he did not hurt anyone sexually, and he did not kill anyone. Therefore, this was an unjustified cause of death that should never be celebrated. So if you ask me, Charlie's children do not deserve to grow up without their father. Charlie's wife did not deserve to lose her husband. Charlie did not deserve to lose his life because of a different opinion. But this teacher deserves to lose his job.
As civilians and people of our great country, we hold ourselves to a higher standard and to support, or worse yet, rejoice in violence. Someone who advocated for an arrested murderer and assassinator of one of the greatest debaters and free speakers of our time should have no place in the classroom, more so around young children.
As a student of Barrington High, I did not feel comfortable or safe with one of our teachers supporting violence. We believe this world needs God because something as cruel as this should never be celebrated. God bless Charlie Kirk and rest in peace, Mr. Kirk.
That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. Those children are being raised right. Wow. Wow.
I don't know when or if I'll post this, but today's September 15th and it's 9:05 a.m. and yesterday at 5 p.m. I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students. That was my job. That was wasn't really just my job. It was like my identity.
Is this the kind of person you want around young people? Someone that would get online and say that they don't care about someone's death?
I do. I think that's been my whole career. Like, how can we get the highest quality education to as many students? For this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care in Dallas, Texas. And that was hard, but after I did it,
That's a job. That's a job. This lady said that she was teaching alphabet community youth about sex education. What are you teaching them, ma'am?
I was so proud of myself, and I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where I couldn't be my authentic self, and I thought that's what I had in my job. And actually, the funny thing is I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it, because everyone on my team agrees with that, or everyone I've talked to, and people can say that, and I would have been okay to say that in my team chat at work. But I was fired because I was doxxed by someone who knows me, and they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists. And so that's why I was fired, not actually because of what I said, which also hurts because I was good at my job. I liked it a lot, and I feel so grateful because my coworkers have been reaching out to me and just telling me they'll be my references and making sure I'm okay. And it feels good to know that I built a community there and that the people there see my character of what it was. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, sorry. I don't know if I'll post this, but
Honestly, the job she had, I don't think anybody should have that job. Seriously, what the heck is going on? Seriously, you're teaching alphabet community sex ed? Really? That's a thing? Wow. I've been saying this on this channel for a long time, man. You got to get your kids out of these public schools. You got to get your kids. Hey, it may be homeschooling. If you can't find a solid Christian, Christian-based institution, if you can't find that, and I mean, when I say that, I mean one that's, really standing on the word of God. If you can't find that, please don't you send your kids to those schools. Do everything that you can to make sure that you don't have to send your kids into these indoctrination camps because they're being taught by people like this crazy lady. Oh my goodness. Hey, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, I am 100% on board with. But just because you carry, if you break the law when you carry, hey, you got to suffer the consequences. When you speak things, that are against company policy, and people got to understand, you better start reading those company bylaws. You better go read the employee handbook about what you can and can't do as an employee of whatever company you work for. See, the thing is that y'all got to understand, I worked in staffing for a long time, and I worked in HR, and I worked in corporate America for, 14, 15 years. And every year they make you take a little class, a couple of them, on harassment, sexual harassment. Sometimes, maybe every other year you'll go through the employee handbook about the do's and don'ts, what you can and can't do, what you can do on the company computer, what you can do, in the public square, known as the internet nowadays and social media. Yeah. And then once you take that class, they make you sign off digitally. So they have it. So therefore, when you do jump out there and violate company policy, they have the right to terminate you because you've already signed off that you've been trained and you understand or you understood what the rules were. And at that point, a company, they have the ability to cut you right then and there if you violate any of those guidelines. See, y'all think this is just, something to go through. Nah, these companies do it to protect themselves. And I got to tell you, the HR isn't for you. HR isn't to protect employees. HR is to protect the company. Some of y'all done had to learn the hard way. Hey, say what you want to say to your friends and your family, behind closed doors. There's plenty of people out there talking reckless like that. But once you throw it out there on the internet, it's for everybody. And the internet's forever. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Join us Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. If it's your first time, please let me know in the chat so we can properly welcome you to the show. I appreciate you guys supporting me. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness